afternoon. Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you very much for the very interesting keynote we just heard, and for the opportunity to present the work of us, the Neue deutsche Medienmacher innen. So like Roman said, translated as New German Media Makers at this conference. In the next few minutes, I'd like to talk about why we need more media visibility and diversity in the post-migrant society. So I also used this term that we just heard about, and how we can help making media more diverse in this post-migrant society. Usually I'm used to present our work in German, so please excuse me if I might make some mistakes. We already heard a lot of numbers concerning the migration background in Germany, and that fits very well because the numbers I brought are quite similar, a bit older, from 2016. 26% of people had a migration background, but I also found the same number like Neue, that if you look at young people, it's even up to 40% of young people who have migration background in Germany. Nevertheless, in some editorial departments, white Germans still work among themselves. So overall, diversity in the German media is shockingly low. And as estimates put the number of journalists with a migration background at between 5 to 10% only. So not at all representative of the post-migrant society. In 2020, we as Neue deutsche MedienmacherInnen conducted a research on interculturally diverse media personnel in German editorial offices, and were able to prove that only 6.4% of the editors-in-chief have a migration background. So these numbers are one of the reasons why we exist as NDM. NDM is an association that campaigns for more diversity in journalism and against digital violence. We are a non-profit association that exists since more than 10 years, and an association of journalists with and without migration background. With various projects, publications, and campaigns, we provide information about diversity in media, and we empower journalists of color and those with a migration background to take part in media. Behind our association of 600 members is a nationwide network of media professionals who work together for more diversity in the media landscape and for better reporting. I myself work for NDM since 4 years, and I have no migration background, and I'm not a journalist, but this input is a product of several team members with different and diverse positions. So this is how we work together. So why are we convinced that media needs more diversity to survive? I don't tell you something new when saying that sales are declining and the reach of traditional media is decreasing. But what is growing is the crisis of confidence and competition from social media and an overabundance of media offerings online. So these are just some of the challenges the media is facing today. And still, now media should and media companies are supposed to become more diverse. Yes, we are convinced that right now is the best moment. And why? We are convinced that more diversity brings new target groups, new customers, and above all, better and more successful journalism. It's all about trust and about credibility, which German media have been missing out on years. So, for example, we talked about the target groups, or about the possible target group. Research shows that BPOC and people with migration background often do not find themselves reflected in German media, which also one of the studies that NICA showed us also proved that only 16% of people have migration background in the media. And they do not find themselves reflected in the German media and perceive reporting as stereotypical or discriminating. So if media are willing to tell new stories, it means more diverse stories, new topics and perspective of a post-migrant society that reflects also within the media. Because those who do not perceive and research the different perspective of a story cannot report objectively. And also we are convinced that it brings new skills. A diverse editorial team can use knowledge and experience that is often lacking in journalism. So for example, it brings more intercultural competence. It brings more access to new communities and to new topics. Of course, it also brings new context to new experts and interview partners, and it also enables multilingualism. So what do we do for more visibility? We as the new German media makers. We support media professionals in discrimination-sensitive media work in cases of disinformation and hate on the internet. But we also promote young journalists with a migration background and support journalists who are new to Germany. We intervene in debates, we write statements, we visit editorial offices, and we practice media criticism when necessary. So now I want to show you some examples of our work for more visibility. Our longest and most successful project is our mentoring project to promote young, diverse talents. NDM has been arranging successfully our mentoring partnerships since 2010, bringing together up and coming journalists, young journalists, and established media professionals to ensure diversity in journalism, training, and in editorial offices to empower immigrant journalists and to support journalists who are new to Germany. But we also like to argue with facts. Our diversity guide, I can show it here, is a good example. The first publication aimed specifically at German media houses. In it, you can find arguments and facts for more diversity, tips and tools, checklists, and best practice examples for reporting in an immigration country. Also comprehensive guides to help media on the road to diversity, and numerous guest articles by journalists, academics, and other experts. An intersectionally expanded and revised version of the guide has been available since December 2021 at mediendiversität.de. It's in German, but try to check it out. I think one of our most known products probably is our glossary. As journalists, we work every day with our most important tool, our language. Our report should be as non-judgmental, accurate, and precise as possible. However, it is not uncommon for terms such as migrants and people with a migration background to be used as synonyms in an article. In this, our glossary, we explain how they differ and provide explanations and alternative terms for reporting in the immigration society. So you can also find our glossary online, but this is an example of one of the definitions within our glossary, for example, with a self-designation such as people of color. The star in our definition marks our recommendations for journalists, and the arrows point to other definitions within the glossary. Also, we try to focus on visual language because if you're looking on online media, that is a very important addition to language. just try it out. If you Google the term Muslim woman, so in German Muslimin in this example, and look at the image search result on the left. Strikingly, almost all of the women pictures are wearing headscarves. Some of them a niqab, which is very rarely worn in Germany. So would you have thought from these pictures that only about a third of Muslim women in Germany wear headscarves? So this is an example that images play a fundamental role in media reporting, especially in online media. Therefore, it is important that they depict reality and realistically and should be as realistically as possible. And yet, the photos used in the press are often influenced by cliches, stereotypes, and the viewing habits of the recipients. Voll im Bild is a checklist on the right side. We developed for low discrimination photojournalism for editors and photographers. We also have another target group that aims at NGOs and migrant self-organizations and to make their voices heard in society. Because this is becoming increasingly important, but also challenging for migrant NGOs, initiatives and associations within the digital society. So professional public relation work makes the valuable work of NGOs visible and brings migrant perspectives into the public discourse and the media. While their expertise is unquestionably there, organizations often lack the know-how, the self-confidence or resources to deal professionally with the media and the public. So this is where our trainings come in. With our trainings, helped by our journalists, we want to teach a self-confident, professional and sustainable way of dealing with the media and the public. We want to network with journalists and local editorial offices, and we want to create a protected space for exchanging experiences of discrimination in dealing with the media. You can also find the brochures with all of our training material on our website. With this link. Lastly, we also focus with our big campaign, the No Hate Speech movement against digital violence. Since 2016, the New German Medienmacher has been a project sponsor of this movement, and we try to protect media professionals from digital violence. Since 2023, we have been focusing more on disinformation and training media professionals in how to deal with it. We educate, we build strong alliances against disinformation and hate speech, and raise public awareness within campaign work. Above all, however, we support journalists and media professionals in taking proactive actions against disinformation. Why? Because disinformation damages our democracy and is a threat to the post-migrant society. And the last project I want to talk about is our project BetterPost for a better online journalism. We have now been contributing our knowledge and expertise to this competence network against hate on the internet since 2021. Our task in this competence network is to contribute our expertise on racism critical reporting and to think along in the topic complex of hate and digital violence. In doing so, we focus on the online experiences of structurally disadvantaged groups, especially people with experiences of racism. As a contribution to the competence network, the NDM founded BetterPost, a project for good journalism and social media and hate-free comment columns. So right now we are in the process of analyzing more than 21 German editorial departments on more than 100 social media accounts. And so far, we already have a data set consisting of 2,000 media posts and more than 100,000 comments below this post. And right now, we have two questions. First, do editorial teams use language with racist connotations in their media posts? And secondly, is there a connection between racist language in the media posts and the comments? And now I lead you with this without an answer, because we're in the process of analyzing. But if you're interested in our results, you can follow up our work. We will publish the results within this year. And also we want to create workshops in which we offer social media we make social media makers fit for journalism that is critical of racism and on social media. But what we can already reveal is the analysis is another reason for good and diverse journalism online. So I will leave you with this. All the materials I have presented can be found on our website, but you can also order it from us. Just write us an email. Thank you very much.